So, just so you guys know about that paper. Uh, How we can find, so, no, for the example, okay, all right, we're gonna call the meeting to order with that. Oh, okay.
Okay, just remember you guys gotta talk kind of loud because I have both my headphones in right now and they're on blast and I just barely heard that.
Okay. I don't know if we're going over the notice of. Yeah. As far as the intervention that, I didn't think those out, I don't know if we needed them or not, I can always say. Yeah, they were ready to be noticed. Oh, those forms, we probably want to do. That's, and there's one, especially for the.
You can let the place heck on that smooth scoop. Low pressure pushes it down toward the ground, like in the winter time, you get, when you always still lose by the finger in the snow.
Yeah.
You notice the smoke will just sit above the trees.
I'll go and get it, absolutely.
That's it, you get to see all of the things.
So, no. All right. Thank you.
Hey Chelsea, did you know that that big yellow container out back is supposed to be full of curriculum? Just slam full of,
Curriculum,
just full of it.
like all books,
As
just a
far as
bunch of
I know,
books in
yeah.
there.
Yeah, as far as I
I
know.
haven't even seen what's inside. Yeah,
Yeah, we bought
I'll
that
check it
last
out.
year, I think. So I've often been wondering why that hasn't been being used.
That's a good question.
That was a lot of money spent.
Are they in order or no? No, this is kind of cool, right? All directors. Overlap. Directors, okay. Is that fun? She's saying we yours. Really? Yeah. It was just like, just really got me. That Excel template really did not want to print, so it's going to all be really up. Oh. Excuse me. Which one was that one for? The financial statement template. Oh. So she was going to sell it. Printing on board with the Excel. All right, since we're to do now. 5:38. Or what? Here. Selfie. Run roll call.
I think I barely heard. I can't hear you guys at all.
Oh, run roll call. It's on you.
Okay, here. So
Okay.
then, like, for any discussion for me to be involved, like, you guys got to speak louder. I can barely hear, and I have both my headphones in. Good headphones,
Okay.
good computer, and I can't hear you guys.
Okay. That's the rule.
Monday,
Naomi Ron, Michelle. Here. Oh, you're wrong here.
does that help at all with being able to hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you better now.
Made you closer.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Where's the speaker? On the top. Out on. I was just looking for that problem.
There's so much paperwork. I'm just looking for the May 20th minute.
I did not print that one. I
Okay,
think there was an error with May 20th. I
okay.
didn't know if we wanted it or not. Can very well go print them if I need to.
Hey guys, it's already getting closer to 6, right? It says time 5:30 to 6:30 on our agenda. Like ideally, some of this stuff should be printed off already, right?
All right. Oh. Fair. We think.
This is something.
County.
I'm just saying it's low.
Since the beginning of my journey. Yeah, okay.
So mission and vision. The mission is to prepare each student for college with an enhanced knowledge of the Ojibwe language, culture, leadership, and environmental stewardship. Vision at Endazhi-Nitaawiging, the vision is to create confident leaders grounded in their true inherited identities and to ensure that they are academically, socially, and spiritually prepared to positively change the community and the world.
Can I get a can I get a motion to approve the agenda for the regular school board meeting of June 2nd, 2025 as presented?
I motion.
No, so I think
Second by Jeff. Any discussion?
Yeah, yeah, can we add that contract for Dustin in there?
What date does it start actually?
I think you emailed it, right?
No.
This is my first time seeing it. Like, if it's immediate, we can approve it now, but if it's like starting like over the summer, it can be tabled for the working session.
Okay, the new school year.
Unless you guys want to add it, I didn't review it. Probably not, we got a lot.
Yeah.
Okay.
We really have a lot of stuff to go over, so if we can table it, we should.
Okay.
I think it says July 1st, so I think there would be enough time to approve it before then and actually review it.
All right. That one, I'm gonna put that on there.
Did he work somewhere? Does he work somewhere already? That name sounds so familiar.
The red lake over chicken.
The Red Lake School, or is he, what is he doing? What?
If I may, this is Sylvia.
Yep.
So he is our special education director. We do contract with him. He worked last year or this past school year for us, and it is important that get approval for his contract to take effect for this coming school year. Even though you do have a busy schedule, this is one of the business items that need action. So I would ask if we can put that on the agenda for tonight's
When
approval.
does
He
when
does.
does that date start?
June 1st.
It would be school year July 1st. And
So
he,
if we're gonna have a working session, we can put on the next agenda so we have time to review it.
working sessions there's no action on working sessions. So this is an action
We can do
item.
we can do a special meeting before then. Because if it's not immediate right now, it's only June 2nd, we can have a special before July 1st to get it approved so that everybody has enough time to review the contract. Because I personally didn't get it until like right now.
Okay,
So it's not immediate, we can schedule a special meeting so that it's have it to look it over and approve it.
You can just set it for the next.
well, there is a regular board meeting on the 17th. I just want the board to know that this is an action item and we do need to get it on the agenda for approval because we do need our contracts approved in June for starting year July 1st. And he does play a vital role and we do need a special education director. And he's accepted our to serve our kids again this year. And so we want to make sure we have that secure for our students in our programming. Meet you.
You put on the back of the meeting notes if you want. No, it's okay. Okay, any other discussion for agenda approval? No discussion, any other discussion? Discussion, going to vote, Leslie?
Yep.
Chelsea? Chelsea?
Yes. Yes.
Sorry, Steph?
Mm.
Naomi, Michelle? All right, motion passed. All right. So the meeting minute. Can I get a motion to approve the meeting minutes for? So, maybe I should have put that on the agenda. Actually, you know what? I think the only meeting minutes we have are for maybe 16.
that are printed out.
Yeah, we don't have April 28th and we don't have, May 20th. I looked at how he's still, okay, can we just do that?
Yeah, we'll have to move the meeting minutes to the next meeting. All right, public comment. So welcome to this meeting of the school board here at Endazhi-Nitaawiging. We are extremely pleased that you have shown an interest in our school affairs by attending this meeting. The school board allows public participation at this meeting, but at the same time has the responsibility for conducting its business in an orderly fashion. We will provide the audience with an opportunity to request to speak. We request that before you speak to announce your name. Each speaker will be allowed 5 minutes unless the time limit is waived by a majority of the board members present at a public meeting of the board. No person shall orally initiate charges or complaints against individual employees of the district or challenge instructional materials used in the district. All such charges, if presented to the board directly, shall be referred to the executive director of the Endazhi-Nitaawiging for investigation and report. We would like to remind the public that the school board is not allowed to comment on your concerns. If there are no questions, we'll open the public comment section of the board. We don't have a public in person, so if there's anybody online that wants to make public comment. No public comment. No public comment. We will move into the report. Do you have anybody from SMS online? No?
No.
No?
Were they, Naomi? Did you
Yeah.
notify them of the new schedule, the rescheduled?
The reschedule of this one?
Yeah. Did you include Amy or Todd or Mary?
I don't have my laptop in front of me, but I'd have to look, so I wouldn't know right off of
Okay.
my screen.
Well, this is using payroll. Payroll not used at all.
It was in the email. Okay, right?
No, it wasn't. Well, regular payroll for like the teachers, but this is just for English.
Oh.
I do know that this is May's financial, so I know at that time of our regular May meeting that Amy and Mary were out of town, so they did provide the first page of the financials. They did provide a description of the financials and information ongoing about it. I don't know if they received notice about the reschedule of this meeting, so that's maybe why they're not on. They didn't receive notification. However, they weren't able to make it last month, which would be this information packet. So she did provide a 1 page there for everybody.
This one's for April. Well, there's an event. You haven't even gotten. Well, that information is about the money.
I can't hear any discussion that's
So
happening.
I was just saying that on the notes on the balance sheet where it says we have now received the fiscal 24 MIAC grants that had erroneously gone to the tribe, as well as the fiscal 25 MIAC funds to date, which is a total of 121,000. So I was just telling them that I found out where those MIAC grants were because the state sent those to the chart or the tribe. And usually like they would go to either the WASA B program or here in the charter. So I think what they were waiting for was to see if there was some that was supposed to be appropriated to the other school or however that goes, so they ended up just coming straight over to the charter school.
Well, I can talk a little bit on that. So the funding that did go to the tribe, we've been in collaboration with MIAC. And the funding that did go to the tribe was indeed for the charter. So that funding was being sent back to the state and then redistributed to the charter. So all of the funding that did go over there is being returned and streamed back to the charter, and that is a charter grant.
So there was a conversation, Sylvia, where you did, when I asked you about the MIAC grant, because part of it was the immersion, and you said there was something like at the tribe, they had to figure out what part was going to immersion and which part was coming to the charter.
Yeah, that's finished. It's a charter grant. So the funding, I think the first error was 86,000. And so that has been returned back to the charter. And then we have some end of the year reporting of reimbursements, and that will come back to the charter. So the grant money that went to the tribe is a charter grant, and it comes to charter. So it's a mix up with MIAC on previous grants that the tribe received. And that's how the mix up happened. But that was returned and everything's in order. They've been talking with Amy, myself, and grants management at the tribe. So everything is taken care of and is streamlined where it needs to go.
So was that, see, that's a good question. So this grant here, does that affect our financial stability report? Or did we know we had that before that report was made?
I know that 86,000 was returned, and I think the next reimbursement should be coming in soon. So that 86 should be accounted for.
You guys have a plan for MIAC?
What do you mean, do we have a plan? We have a grant narrative and a budget for it.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Can you send it to the treasurer?
Yep.
Okay. Wait.
Uh-huh.
So what I just heard is that laws are being just separate.
So, like, the state appropriates from MIAC at the state level appropriates, so like the tribe would have to apply for those, so immersion, and somehow immersion never applied for those last year, so they didn't get the MIAC for last year. That's why they don't have that.
Yeah, I can't hear you guys again.
He asked about the MIAC grant. And just basically asking if the immersion program is suffering because the MIAC grant didn't get applied to that program through the tribe. So Endazhi kind of got a lot of that money from the MIAC, when a part of that percentage for Red Lake could have went to the immersion program, but whoever applied for MIAC applied to just to cover it for charter and didn't leave some, or apply to leave some for the immersion program. That's kind of what he's getting at.
MIAC is a competitive grant for immersion schools. So it's a competitive RFP, so request for proposal. So anybody that applies has to go through a review process. Charter applied and was approved. So what was awarded to charter goes to charter. It doesn't have any effect on any other programming, any other schools. It's a competitive grant.
Yeah. I don't know, the grant department was telling me a little bit different about that MIAC grant in the past 3 years, and how they explained it was a little bit different. But that's off subject. So. What else we got here?
I don't know, like, what we're at, because this is April stuff, so we're at June 2nd and March.
And do you know what the budget looks like for the school program?
For the school program, can you be more specific? What do you mean?
So, I mean, yeah, like you guys are covering the school program and there's funding there.
Summer school programming?
Yeah, the summer school program, sorry.
Yep, so that's part of my report. Did we want to just go into reports or?
No, I was just asking what the budget looks like for summer program.
Yep, so do you want me to just go into my report right now or?
No, we're just still looking. I just asked the question.
Okay, yep, we do have an after-school summer program grant that we are awarded. It's a 5-year grant, so we get funding every year to help support after-school programming and summer programming. So we do have funds available for the next 5 years to help support and enrich the experiences of our students. And a lot of our planning is, again, land-based, mission-driven work. And a lot of our focus this year will be academic support. So we have quite a few staff that are on board this summer that will help with either a 1-to-1 ratio or 1-to-2 ratio for our students. We have 48 that signed up. I think today was pretty hectic. We're solidifying our busing and transportation. However, we had, I think, 32 students, and the majority of them were drop off. So it's a pretty successful first day. We're still doing a lot of the planning, finalizing just the field trips and programming to support our students. So to answer your question, yes, there is funding and we do have it available for the summer programming.
Okay, I was just looking for an exact, like an estimated number of what you got projected that's gonna cover this summer, not, I didn't need the whole rundown, sorry. Like, what do you have for this summer, for the summer program? Is there like, what's the number to cover it?
Yep, so I didn't calculate what the number would be. It does support our staffing, it does support food, our programming again, so I don't have a number to report to. I don't have a number to report to you guys, an exact number, but the yearly award is around 279,000 to support after-school programming and summer programming. So we have a lot of funding to help support our students and staff.
So you don't have a budget for the summer program?
I have a budget for the whole grant, and within the grant,
What we're asking for is a budget for the summer program.
This summer,
Yes, this summer.
like.
So we
So
know
it-
what we're spending on our summer program, which should have actually already been done before we started our summer program.
So again, it's a yearly grant. It covers after-school programming and summer programming.
All right, just
Within
stop
that-
right now. You're not giving me an answer to what I'm asking.
Michelle, can
Within-
you explain that? Do we have a breakdown on supplies, food, transportation, personnel, contractors? Like, what is in total? Like, what is our plan? Are we going 3 weeks? Like, what are we expected to spend down? Because we're already at 6% on our finance evaluation report. Like in total cost of transportation, food, supplies, personnel, like where are we at?
Who are you asking?
So this summer program, how much is it gonna cost? For supplies, food, transportation, contractors, what is that gonna cost?
If you give me some time, I'd be happy to get that information to you and calculate who we have, how many students we have, the different programming we're going to be supporting our students through the summer. And I'd be happy to get that amount to you. I don't have that now, but I'd be happy to get that to you with some appropriate time.
I think that there probably should have been a plan in place, probably at least a month or two in advance and been presented to the board and said, this is what or even to the staff, so that they have a plan too of what they can plan for activities, field trips, snacks, transportation, because we don't have a magic invisible pool of money, we're already looking at our finance reports and it doesn't look good already.
And the
And I-
number you got for the 5 years should actually be budgeted out for the 5 years already. If you've already had it and you've had it for some time.
Well, thank you for your input.
Yeah.
Yep, thank you for your input. We do have a yearly plan. And we do
speaking,
have.
and it's not your position to speak over me when I am. I appreciate if you don't. But like I said, that budget should have already been put in here in this. and actually approved probably last month.
Okay, so,
The program should be approved before summer school starts.
okay, so the grant is a 5-year grant. It was approved. Every year, there's already a plan, there's already amount, which includes our programming, our supplies, our staff, our stipends, our contract, our foods. There's line items on every budget where you put in that amount. Every year you revisit and you do reporting. And then if you need to change it, assess, do different contracts or anything, that allocated amount is already in there every single year. And you have the option every year when you report to do a budget revision. So to answer your question, we do have funding to support our summer school programming, which covers staff, student, everything you mentioned. What I don't have for you is an exact amount. However, it's already been approved, we already been awarded.
I understand, we understand that, I understand that, I'm just saying that in for managing and operating a summer program, like, that should have been well planned out. Because like our buses, are we gonna use our buses? They're out. And like if there was transportation policies that needed to be adopted, those could have been presented to the board today too. Or even a couple weeks ago, if we didn't have to keep rescheduling these meetings, we could have got a lot of business done, and here we are, first day of summer school with no plan,
No budget.
no budget.
We do have a plan, there is a budget. We do our busing through the local school district in our free food programming for the summer. If you send me an email, I'd be happy to follow up with you and send you additional information. Just if you can request that in an email, then that'll give me time to get the information you need, and hopefully it'll be helpful for your meet your needs. Miigwech.
On the bus. Yes, I'm going for them to party, like, I'm going to the Isn't there? Isn't the evaluation for second to go this?
Yeah.
Bring a report. No. So we're just moving that to.
Would you bring up Bill?
Okay, so this right here is what I said next. Yeah.
Yeah, we're missing payroll for that would talk about the teachers' pay. And in fact, one of them on there, so should be on the teachers' payroll. And I'm pretty sure that's what's that's I think Quincy's payroll. Out large, and she should be getting paid out of special ed. So there's some things going on there, and if anybody's on the payroll and found the vendor, there's that stuff with people.
I can't hear any discussion that's happening.
They're just mentioning, or he was just mentioning that payroll isn't on the financials and we need payroll. We got the contractual financials, but we don't have exact payroll.
It says number 2, April cash flow report, payroll totaled 92,639.
Yeah, but I think he's asking about the specifics, like the list that breaks it down.
We have one.
The detail, the ledger detail.
Just like the vendors here. Yeah, just like these ones, except it says payroll, not vendors on it. There's also, we have an outstanding bill that's over 3 months old that hasn't been brought up in any of these meetings. It has to do with school supplies. I can't remember the exact number.
You're right, it wants to come back and be the fall.
Yeah, just be sure to speak up for people in the Zoom because they can't hear us when we're quietly talking. It's-
Can review the template. If they're not do that.
He's done anything. Yeah.
So it's 5 and 6.
we're talking about possibly tabling this. That's a lot of stuff to table.
Table what?
The financial report, we're missing the detailed payroll apparently.
No, I have questions too, but SMS isn't here.
Yeah, I have questions too. Questions I can probably answer if I had access. We could all answer them.
All right. So I'm gonna move this report to be request for SMS to speak on it at the next meeting. All right. Is Nate available for his report? He's missed about 3 meetings.
Yeah, I just brought in his printed sheet for you all. So he's not online.
The one with the blue on it?
Yes. Yep.
I don't know how the rest of the board feels about school leadership not making notice to the board or anything about being absent for either meetings or work. But that's something that the board should probably start discussing, because I think that school leadership should at least notify people, especially the board, in their absence of either meetings or if they're gonna be away from work. All right, head of school is on your report.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
It's on head of school report.
I just wanted to make a note though for the director's report. It says yearbook for 24-25, and we got 4 copies of yearbook. Does that go to?
Yeah.
First, okay. I
That's
just
right.
noticed that on item list, and I noticed that these were sitting here, so.
Thank you, Leslie.
Oh, good. I don't need a copy, so I'm just gonna put it there.
Also, I'd like to bring up on this report, maybe the working on the budget, on the primary budget with the financing team should be a working session with the board. We are supposed to work with them to make that budget, the entire board,
Yeah,
not the leaders of the school.
like we should have a review session and then a second session to actually approve it. So when you guys are doing those meetings, make sure that you guys include the treasurer. And then once I appoint a lead for the finance committee, I'll have them be in touch with you guys also, so that you guys keep the finance team on the governing side and the committee side involved with that too.
Okay, so I did my report on the summer school programming. So a lot of the report with the director is shared reports with myself and the admin team, so with Rochelle. So we're just winding down on some of our end of the year reporting for some of our grants. We are working on our annual report, yearly annual report. We have our finance meeting coming up this week. And then continue to planning for summer and then planning into next school year 25-26. I think that's about it. Thank you.
They've been going over the end of year report and grants and stuff like that.
I'm sorry, was that a question or?
No, sorry, Sylvia. Naomi couldn't hear you. So I just kind of like summarized what you were just saying. It was about
Okay.
your
Miigwech.
All right, Rochelle, are you on?
Yes.
I am on in.
And-
So, go ahead.
Yep.
Okay, so pretty much like Sylvia said, as we're looking at the end of the year, we're looking at end of the year closeouts, we're looking at end of the year grants. The biggest thing that I've been working on is the getting ready for the annual report. And part of what I do is compliance. And so trying to make sure that that initial report that you have in front of you in your packet, just want to remind everybody that that is the preliminary report to the annual report. And at the bottom where it says we're on track to possibly be non-renewed, that's just kind of like we are at step 2. The first step is a notice of concern. The next one is a notice of deficiencies, and that's kind of where we're at out of a 5-step process. So talking to our authorizers, I just asked the question, are we anywhere near not being renewed? And the answer was no. The report that you're looking at, my understanding is it's a preliminary. And the reason that we have those deficiencies where we're at is because it's a lack of data. So we've been working on getting that data collected, and there's a number. Naomi, if you remember that compliance report that you sent to me, one of the tabs down below is Aries. And if you look under Aries on that tab, you'll see all of the things that we need to get uploaded in there. A number of the things that we're missing are in our reports are meeting minutes, financials, our lease aid report from last year, our denial letter from last year. Sylvia and I sat down last week. We did a whole day of a data drive and dive, and we have a lot of the documents. And Naomi, I've been working on trying to get all of those meeting minutes. The other part of that is making sure, and for those of you board members who gave me your training, I appreciate that. And I still need a couple people's training records. And so I've reached out to you to let you know that I need your training records. Osprey Wilds doesn't keep those. When you do the training online, what happens is when you complete the training, you do you print out your CEU saying that you have completed those trainings, and that's up to you to print those out. So those are what I'm asking for, your verification that you did those trainings. And for the 2 board members whose training records I don't have, if I can send you the training that Osprey Wilds provided, and if you want to go in and just take identify the trainings that you have and print out the CEUs, and then that will suffice. That's one of the things that we need to have listed in our annual report. The financials in that deficiency report, I've already sent to School Management Services. One of the biggest deficiencies in that report was that we did not have board approval on all the financials. And that's why you have on your agenda an item on there tonight that just approval for past financials. If you go back into all of the minutes, you will see that financials were discussed. Financials in all of the meetings, when you go back, they've been discussed, all of that. They just didn't have approval. So we put on the agenda tonight to just kind of do a backdate of approval of all those financials that we've discussed in all those previous meetings. And then that's kind of one of the biggest things too. So I did send Todd, our School Management Services, our business guy, a copy of all those financial deficiencies, which are really pretty minor. Like one of them I said is that we just didn't approve the financials, and that was a unsatisfactory mark on that one. So those are some things that we can get corrected. We are in no way not in line to be renewed. So we need to be careful of how we talk about that to people. I did let the tribal council know and the chairman know, and I did share with them. They did ask me about it, and I did let them know what our authorizer shared with me. So we just need to be real careful how we talk about that. So we are not in danger of not being non-renewed. So, but it's mostly due to lack of data. So I've been doing a pretty big data dive, trying to get all of that stuff. So that's what I'm working on. Also working on curriculum. We'll be doing some curriculum stuff this summer, some curriculum piloting this summer. And we'll choose our curriculum for next year. And that's so making sure that we've got scope and sequence. The other two items that are part of our vision and our mission are identifying growth in our Ojibwe language. And the other one is what have we been doing and how are we documenting kind of our wellness and our spiritual, mental, physical, emotional. So we've been compiling a list of that, and that'll go into our annual report too. And those are the two major things that our authorizer has been asking us for. I created a rubric for the Ojibwe language, and it's kind of a summary from this year, and it will be our starting point for next year. So I did get approval from our authorizers to use that rubric, and I shared it out with staff, and I'm putting that data together now. Also, the same format I gave to our authorizer on how to document all of those wellness things that we've been doing. And so I have approval for that. So I just need, and that'll go into our annual report too. So mainly what I'm working on is making sure that we're prepared for our annual report. So if you hear from me, I'm just looking for some data that's necessary. And then getting ready for the summer, finishing up some of the summer school stuff, getting ready for next year. And I know there was a question on the transportation. So I gathered all of the legals on the buses that we have. Those are type A buses, and they require CDLs. So I am setting up training this summer for any staff who want to do the training for their CDLs, and then it'll be up to them to go get their physicals, anybody who wants to be a driver. So it is a requirement. They are type A buses, and there's different levels of CDLs, and this is kind of the minimum CDL that's required for these buses. So working on that also. Was there any questions that you have for me in particular?
I don't have any questions. I just got some comments. Maybe a question. So moving forward and just experiencing what we're experiencing the last 3 years, and I'd say majority of everybody here is pretty brand new, and me and Jeff's been here since as co-founders and first year, second, now third, and going into fourth year. And that's why we have a major concern, because we've seen it from the ground up and where we're at. And a lot of stuff that could have, should have, would have been fixed hasn't been done. And just hearing the fact that we went in and purchased and had this big plan of having our own bus transportation without even getting out there and having somebody, either hiring or training our staff months ago to become CDL drivers. Like, we didn't even know that information way in the beginning before we decided to go after funding and come pitch a plan that we got electric buses and a big old garage. Like, where was all the game planning with that?
My understanding is that this was all donated and we're willing to accept this. Part of the reason that I'm here, again, is to help with compliance in all the areas of the school, whether it's academics, instruction, facilities, all of these areas. And, I would say, and as you guys who have been on this board initial, I think that you would acknowledge that we didn't know what we didn't know. So I'm here to help with those areas. There was an understanding that you didn't need to have a CDL for these buses. And I'm saying, you know what, I did looked into it pretty deeply, and we do need to have the CDLs in order to use those. So, there's a lot of things here that we found in the last 3 years. And you talk to any charter school out there, and they will tell you that the first 3 years of starting a charter is really difficult. Because as we start a charter, we don't always know what we don't know. And so we're making good progress. And as you go through your agenda and you look at those letters from Osprey, they're really pretty nice letters, talking about the progress that we're making and and the good intent that we have and all of those. And so I think we are making really good progress. And you know, as we move along, we are learning what we didn't know and we're making those corrections. I don't think you could ask for better than that.
Yeah, we could. I could have asked for these reports when they were given last year instead of receiving them 3 weeks ago for the first time. Where it tells me where we're lacking, and we could have been fixing it last year. That's part of the issue with it. It wasn't given to the board.
Well, what you have in front of you went to the board chair and she shared that out with us. No, I wasn't here last year, and if there was a notice of concern, you, the board, would have received that. It would have gone to your board chair, okay, and that would have been shared out. What you have in front of you was shared with the board chair, and that was shared out with us. It went to the board chair first, and then now it's shared with us. And like I told the chairman, like I told our chairman and the tribal council, is that I had just received that from our board chair and that I hadn't had an opportunity to do a deep dive. And that's what I'm doing now, taking a look at, and most of it's just missing data. And we'll go ahead and get that data. So I got that report the same time you got that report. And you know, we're working on it. And I think we'll make really good progress. I don't really see anything in there that can't be addressed.
Pat, since you're on there and you're on for Osprey, can I ask you a question?
Yeah, you bet.
So, do you know anything about why Osprey did not send fiscal year 23 and fiscal 24 to our board of directors until like the last month?
Are you talking about the academic report, Naomi?
Yeah, so that we could have actually had a meeting and built a plan back a year or two ago.
Right,
instead of
yeah.
Not receiving and addressing it now.
I can't speak to the 23 one. I know the FY 24 academic reports are just being, some of them are just being finalized right now, and there's some that aren't even out yet. We had a bit of a backlog with those. So those did come out, and when we send those out, they definitely go to the school leader and the board chair.
So did those come out last year? Because when I talked to Emily, she had stated that the 23 one was done, but they didn't send it out because there was no data. But that would have been some beneficial information for the board of directors to have that last year so that we could at least game plan from that. But are you able to see when that fiscal year 24, if it was recently sent or if it was sent last year?
The FY 24 one from last school year would have been recently sent. I'm poking around in my files right now to see if I can find when the FY 23 one was sent out. Give me 1 minute here. Did you have any other questions about it, Naomi, while I'm looking?
No, that was it.
Okay, just a sec. I'm almost there. It appears that the FY 23 one was sent out early June of 24.
Do you know who that one went to?
I don't. I believe
That would
that.
have been the school leader and the board chair. So at that time, that would have been Rochelle.
Yes, I believe so. That's usually who we send them out to, but I'm not the one who sent that out, so I can't really speak to that.
Okay. So it did get sent out. It just never got to the board. You make the moment.
Other questions for me?
Nope, that's it. Unless anybody else has a question for the report.
Thank you.
Be great.
Yeah.
Okay. We are moving on to new business. Can I get a motion to approve and accept monthly financial reports from July 2024 to May 2025? So we don't see them, and that might be a quick conflict because you guys were seated for that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna move the under new business item A to the next meeting because I'm gonna have to break it down because 3 of the board members were not board members during some of this time period. So I might have to break those down somehow. I don't know how I'm gonna have to do that. But if Pat, I have a question. Are we able to break that? How would we do that if there's 3 board members that weren't seated during that time of the finances? Do they refrain from voting on those, or is that just me and Jeff vote on them?
You're talking about this, excuse me, you're talking about the kind of the retroactive thing that Rochelle was talking about before?
Yeah.
Boy, that's an interesting question. I don't think I've ever had that one, but I could certainly look into it and get back to you.
Okay, because I'll probably put it on the next meeting agenda just so that we're clear on all that stuff. Do you want me to reach and ask Joe too, or you just want to look into that?
You're talking about from SMS?
Yeah, those finance from, yeah.
You could ask them their opinion on that, but I can ask, and I would hope to have an answer tomorrow or the next day.
Okay,
And I could send it to you and Sylvia.
okay. Well, I will pay.
So if this is our finances, this should be sent to me.
Yeah.
So, but, you know, they look over and.
See ya, Rochelle. Thank you.
Thanks, Rochelle. Yep, thank you, Rochelle. Good.
You're at 6:45.
Oh,
Times are cleaned.
Okay. So next is a motion to approve the charitable organization annual report. The big one there. State of Minnesota. They did. I was like, yeah, yours is buried. Okay. I kind of took a look at this, but I genuinely don't know what.
Yeah, all this wasn't me.
It was actually, I think, because I remember it being really,
Maybe it just doesn't seem as.
there were just a lot of like blank pages, like a lot of these aren't really filled out.
Yeah, and that's.
Oh, right. Amy Blake, she's from SMS, huh? I don't know what that was. Yeah, that's special board. Yeah, because they're not here to answer any questions on this report, or we don't have like an exact update on even May report. I don't know, I feel like I would, I would feel a lot more confident and comfortable speaking with SMF if they were here to answer any questions about me.
You guys in discussion or? Did we
No,
was it
we're
motion?
actually, we're going over this, charitable organization annual report. We're all just looking at it right now.
Okay,
I'll just want a motion. Or I did already, right? A motion to approve the charitable organizational annual report. I'm in a motion.
I'll second it.
Okay.
Two seconds.
Kelsey?
Okay.
All right, open discussion. So I was just saying that I feel more confident with having Amy or somebody from SMS here to answer any kind of questions about the whole report. So. Cause it's pretty big. And then we also got another report from Osprey, so. I'm kind of leaning toward of having a special meeting just to address all finances, just because a lot of the finances are on us, and we're actually supposed to be building the preliminary budget to get approved. So we could have a special meeting just on finances.
so this is our annual nonprofit. We have to file our 990 our taxes, and that's past due. That was supposed to be on last agenda. That meeting was canceled and this is a reschedule. I just want the board to know that our taxes are late. This is an action item. This is our annual report for our nonprofit. Every year we have to file these. And the first year we didn't have to because we are a new charter school. We filed last year, and we filed last year for the year before, and this year is for last year. So this is an item that was tabled before that needs action. So all the report numbers on there are in all the financials the past year. So, and all the information was available. But
This is from last year?
2023-24, yes.
Do you know when the deadline was for the taxes to be submitted?
It was May, I don't have it offhand. May something, I want to say. Or maybe April. I'd have to look. But this is a tabled item. I think 2 meetings now.
No, this is the first time it's been on the agenda.
Well, we requested it to be on the agenda before, but it wasn't added to one of the meetings. Then we finally got it on last meeting, and then it was canceled, and then now it's tabled. So I just want the board to know we are past due. It's an action item. The board does have to review. Thank you.
Okay.
You know,
We're gonna go into a break real quick. Jeff's got to use the bathroom.
Dad, spend all that time putting around and keeping us from having meetings, all this started.
I know we're still no a little bit.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, I got pushed on me and what I can do.
no, we've been running until April, like you said, there's a bill that hasn't been paid here, and we can't be late more than 30 days, like a bad time, so council got on us because they had to pay our propane bill because they went too many bills. So that's why I asked how late this was submitted, so like this stuff should have been. Hold on, where's that, it's not like, most of these states, so they, on about that. A lot of it comes from. It's not. Affordable, it's something that.
6 months ago. Just so you got to know, next treasurer will soon.
Wanna push it? Table?
It should have been done last year, right? At this time, this is ridiculous.
So. Fiscal year end June 30th, 2024.
There should be, I just want to add, there should be meeting minutes that tell when the income tax and the audit and everything was done, and it did happen last year. So it is in the meeting minutes. Every year.
All of this is tax forms, correct?
Yes, it's a nonprofit.
Correct.
Okay. And there's two separate ones in here, right? One is for the charitable organization report, and then the other one is exempt forms.
So one, correct, once the income tax, it breaks down, but that's also part of the annual report. And if you look on page, I'm trying to scroll up. Yep, the first page charitable organization annual report does need a signature from two board members. And that's the action item. The second piece is the income tax portion. We turn in both documents for income tax and then the report. So they're two separate, but they go in together.
It's not bad of you.
So are we back from break now?
Yeah. So
Okay,
what I'm
okay.
hearing, Sylvia, is the total amount of contributions to the organization received from Minnesota donors, like, is there like a breakdown of that, or like?
That would be in the financials. Yes, your financials that you receive monthly. And then also in the approved revised budget for the year. And then it would also come up in the June budget. So everything aligns with the financials.
Or tax credits and May 15th, 2025. Did you guys know that we were getting an extension in the deadline?
Did we know what?
Did you guys know that about the extension and the deadline and why the board wasn't aware of the extension of the deadline?
The board hasn't approved. It was tabled a few times.
No, it says on this form, it says extended to May 15th, 2025, and how come the board wasn't notified prior?
I've never heard that we didn't file our taxes last year. That's what she's getting at. They just put it plain and simple.
We did file last year for the year before. We got to file this year for last year, and that's what we're working on. It's a business item. To answer your question, Naomi, this must be something SMS has been.
It says 2023, it says July 1st, 2023 to June 30th, 2024.
Okay, so if you look back in the meeting minutes, SMS, we had to hire an auditor. We were behind on an auditor, and then we were behind because we were the auditor, we were behind in taxes. So SMS did work on both with the agency, shoot, I forgot their name, the firm who did our audit, and then right after the audit was done, they went into our tax papers. So yes, there was an extension that was needed last year, but you guys, Jeff and Naomi, you were present. You can reflect back on the meeting minutes on when that all took place back in probably around the same time,
Same time. of what,
April,
last-
May, and June.
Yeah, I have to look back because I don't recall.
Yep, Todd was online several times with Mary. And then we also got the auditor in online, and then they talked about the audit and then the taxes. After the audit was done, they did the taxes, and it was late.
Okay.
You both are aware of that at that time, and it should be in the meeting minutes.
Okay, well, we don't have those meeting minutes in front of us, unfortunately, so that's just in my comment for the discussion is that I feel more comfortable, even though my name is in this as under the tax, I feel more comfortable speaking with Amy since she's the one that prepared this as well.
What does your shadow say on them? She was chair at the time.
She had to step off.
Meeting, so.
I'm just wondering if we're going to get any business done tonight. It's 7 o'clock.
I'm just looking back at my minutes just to see if I was part of that discussion. But I don't think I've ever been part of that discussion. Like, so, like, I wouldn't even, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Like, I'm just like, I don't want to like be proving stuff. I have no idea what, these numbers are on here, or, you know what I mean?
I do, and I respect that. Thank you for sharing that. You weren't on the board at that time. However, we still have business items we still have to conduct, and our school still has to remain in operation. The materials were prepared by our financial firm. All the information and financials are made available monthly. You have access to it at any time. I mean, this is a business item. This is something we have to do. And as board members, it's an obligation to serve the school, the students, to make sure we take care of the business that needs to be taken care of. All of the documents and information reported for agenda. Again, our business items in a professional manner, and it's for the school.
Yourself talk, don't you?
No.
You're not the chair.
So Sylvia, thank you for that input, but, we're the board and we're gonna operate and run our board as needed. We understand that it's a business item and it needs to be addressed. But I'm saying in a comment and discussion that I feel more comfortable, even though I was here, that I would feel more comfortable having a meeting and sit down with SMS being available to answer any questions. Rather than just telling us, hey, you need to hurry up and approve this. Because we do have the right to question that stuff as well. So I thank you for your, updating or, on those pieces, but that's where I stand at this point in my comments for the discussion. I feel more comfortable and confident talking with SMS.
Okay, are you gonna do a vote? It's already been,
it's
it's
set.
already been motion and second.
Sylvia,
We're still in conversation.
we're still in conversation.
So like Chelsea and Leslie and me were like on there, like, so what do we do? Can we just abstain from this? Or like, how does that?
If you guys don't feel comfortable, then you guys can voice however you guys need, so that's fine, voice sounds like I personally, because I was here, I would feel comfortable talking with SMS and asking specific questions, just with them, just because they're the ones that prepared it. For us.
So now it takes me a signature. I wasn't the treasurer at the time, so I didn't really dig in deep on this stuff, but
Yeah, I don't have the finance books, the board's never, ever had possession of the full finance book. We just got these reports. And there's more in depth to the finance reports, like the narrative for the grants and the spend downs and the stuff there's questioning about, like the summer program. Those are things that we don't have or see. And that would actually help with the board for conducting business or where we need to go in a direction or discussing stuff like that, especially the financial parts. Because that is our duty to the schools and oversee and make sure our finances are in line and we're not having faulty evaluations on our finances. So this is why I'm saying why I feel more comfortable talking with SMS about this stuff, and I do not want to keep pushing it back, and I know it's important, but at the same time, it's also important to have discussions with the ones who were preparing our taxes. So if it's immediate, we could do a special meeting just to address all our finances. So. All right, we'll go into, if there's not any more discussion, we'll go into a vote. Leslie, Darlene. Chelsea?
No.
No. Jeff? No. I'm not seeing. Reynolds? Motion is passed. I'm correct. The bills? Yeah, that's what's on the agenda. Yeah, we've never seen the bills. They've always.
Okay, so it says a motion to approve the monthly bills for April 2025 in the amount of $53,741.27.
Anybody in a motion?
no motion.
Can we motion without papers? It's up to you. You can go into discussion and in the discussion, you can say you can table how they reduce it. So if you guys feel comfortable with looking at, because I really don't know exactly in detail of what bills they are.
Okay, so motion.
But so, talking about that, discussion.
Yep, so those bills, that amount comes from, if you look at the financials, the breakdown, it should list all the bills that we paid for the prior month. So the month we're approving was last month's. So that would have been April's. Yep, it should be in that packet.
It's more or less the vendors, not like the bill.
Yep, it's the vendors.
So
It's
that's
our, yep, our monthly bill. So we have Yep, vendors, it should all be there. So that's the total amount of what was paid.
Now, shouldn't we be approving stuff before they're already paid?
How would you do that?
Certain things in particular, say the hotel bill here, there should be a process in order, like, where does the hotel come from? Like, you remember being on the PAC team, right? So when they'd send us off to MEIE or whatever they'd send us off to, they'd get us our information, our W-2 or whatever, so they give us our stipend check month ahead of time. They already had our stuff paid for. Well, that had to go through the business manager in order to get signed off to even approve to pay for those, to even pay for them. We've already paid for it. Now I gotta approve it. What if I decide not to approve it, sign off on that one? Who pays for it? Because I don't know where it came from. And I can't see why we have a hotel bill for somewhere, or apples and bagels, or things like that. Because if you go, that's the teachers, all that should be lumped in with your petty cash and all that other stuff that you spend throughout the week on the teachers. Things gotta get tighter with all that. And policy, and more policies need to be written on a lot of that stuff.
Absolutely, I agree. We are working on our systems, internal systems and controls. That's something on our list.
So is this the balance of what we paid? So that doesn't match that number, does it?
That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to look for the $53,741.27 in this. And I can't
Okay, so if you take a look at, let me see if I can, hold on.
Okay.
I don't know what page it is. Oh, number 3. Number 4, no, number 3. And if you go down, hold on, so I don't have to turn my head. Well, I'm just gonna turn the camera off because I'm gonna turn my head. Okay, so if you look at number 3, and then you go down and you have, these would be Teacherly, IM Incorporated, educational consulting. This wouldn't include our consultants. Bill pay, Blue Cross Blue Shield, Canva. So it's just you pull out the ones that are under our vendors, not consultants. Red Lake Nations Propane, Northern Lakes Vending. Let's see. Brothers, Fire, Greg's Plumbing Heating, Go Guardian. So those items.
So the ones that are all in capital letters, those ones? Or, because there's no definitive way of
No,
what's yours and what's not.
yeah, it's not broken up. So school management system, yes. Sasha Bullion, no, she's a consultant. Internal revenue, yes. Minnesota Department of Revenue, yes. Para, yes. Those are our bills, not our consultants.
Okay, so did you say IM Incorporated?
So IM Incorporated, no, they wouldn't be included because they are a consultant. I think I did say that in the very beginning, but no, they wouldn't. They're consultants. And to answer your question, Jeff, about Quality Inn, that was when we brought Tufa one down on his music and beats residency. So that was covered through a grant we brought him down with.
He should have paid for his own hotel.
I personally think the benefits outweigh the kids, because the kids really benefit from tutoring. Just personal note.
I think they'd really benefit from a steady actual music teacher. Not a contractor coming. You feel, me? You know what I mean?
Is there anything like that though around here?
That's lesson provided here, or would be to have to
There's
spend time every
teachers that go to music teachers. Instead of actually just trying to hire contractors there. Because he's not a teacher, he could be putting him out there as teachers.
What are we asking to know?
Yeah, he was never, I don't think his title was ever teacher. He was specifically specialist. Okay, so
For the 53,000 some stuff?
no, not yet. I'm trying to,
It's not
I'm
like
trying.
them,
Yeah, you have to figure out what's a bill and what's not.
So what's fair? Any questions?
No, it's a different acronym. What does para stand for, Sylvia?
It's the retirement for non-licensed teachers. So staff, employees. State.
Is that a bill
Yes.
or?
Yep.
Okay.
Um. Sarah?
Yes, they're like, yeah, that's like for retirement and stuff, that what comes out there. That we can have mad or something.
That must be what.
Oh, no,
You
Don't
got
hurt
them on
me.
the payroll.
you gotta keep up.
Well, yeah, it's like the mess ones we're looking at. Yeah. You gotta calculate it.
Like, when you say, like,
I think that's where we gotta go out of the contract and see. At a rate of how much we're paying them too. Cause I don't think our teachers are supposed to be on our vendors too.
Do you guys hear that? Our teachers aren't supposed to be on our vendor list. In our evaluation report, we see a lot of teachers on our vendor list every single month.
Yeah, our teachers, they sometimes have to put in for a reimbursement. Sometimes their stipend, they go outside their employee agreement, so they do get that extra stipend.
It says in the evaluation report, it did mention that too.
yeah, you're not supposed to do that.
It's allowable.
It's in our report from Osprey.
Osprey, would you, Pat, would you like to chime in on that?
I have not looked over your finance report, so I would have to go back and look through that.
Well, about like the reimbursement of the teachers and things like that, we're not supposed to be doing things like that.
Well, I mean, it's per the contract. I don't know what I mean, that's up to, you know, how you all have your contract. And I'm not familiar with every school's contract. But yeah, I'm not sure. I think I would ask SMS about how that should be coded. They would be the people to ask about that.
I don't know. Did you go on travel or anything? I don't think so. It's not much. It's just $100.
Have one average day of cash on hand. It says in response, the school has changed financial service providers and initiated limited improvements to board government, including better preparation for materials, and more transparent communication practices. Weird, oh, it wasn't done. So I'm just trying to make them resolve. Yeah.
Is this, bamboo HRH is that, a bill or is that, a person?
That is a
Yeah.
bill.
Okay.
Well, not. Okay.
Dealing with financials, you got PayPal account. Every, you know how long we've had it? Well, that's things I'd like to put in.
On the agenda. Yeah, I think that's pretty powerful. We're dictating a lot of that donated money from the side. Oh, you.
Cause I accidentally cleared it earlier when I was adding them up, so I was like, I'm just gonna do it this way. Okay. Manual then, yeah.
Oh. Oh.
Trying to jump ahead.
Yeah. Hold on, darlings. Okay. Back up. It says certain contractors appear to be functioning as school staff based on the nature of their duties and may require reclassification. Furthermore, questions have emerged regarding the school's internal control over reimbursement. For instance, the teacher receives reimbursement, first of all, saying that she didn't it says, due to the personal purchase or the school incurred unnecessary. It's gonna be exceeded. Yeah. There's a 15, there's 2 there. So that's my rate.
You see, these ones may be on different rates by themselves, like those. So we, just our regular bills.
Who does the ledgers? Oh, okay. So we'll need them for that as well.
Okay. So you want them to split the bills from the other vendors? It would probably make things a little easier. Okay.
Or even a month of what we pay for them and maybe like a hard. That's a bill, that's a bill. That's something.
Or separate the bills from the vendors
Yeah,
would be.
yeah.
Okay. Going to vote. Leslie.
Oh,
No from myself for you.
Chelsea,
Yes.
Yes. Chelsea, yes. No from Deb. I think I'm gonna stay on this one. Well.
Gowie,
All right, now can I get a motion to approve the acceptance of the grant, the Nature Conservancy awarding 50,000 for the Endazhi-Nitaawiging experiential learning purchase of supplies. I'll motion.
a second.
Any discussion?
Yep, so this grant was approved in partnership. And they approved us for $50,000 for a grant that will be used to help purchase a pontoon and curriculum for water, the lakes and the waterways. So hydrology and that would help cover stipends or consultant fees for those creating the curriculum. We can't hear you, Jeff.
He's just talking about a bill.
I was just talking about a 3-month-old bill for school supplies that's, I can't remember if it was $1,700 or 17,000. I only got to look at it for a few, but it's actually 3 months old. So like in your old bills, y'all want me to sign off. It's not in that.
Or
And I'm
where?
just- I can't remember. It has to do with like school supplies, tables and whatnot. It's one of those companies. I got to see the actual bill, a week ago.
so some of
Where
the
was-
bills So some of the bills from charter, they go to the government center and they end up in the immersion mailbox. So when I pull out some of those bills, a lot of them go to, so I don't know if the charter actually has their own PO box that stuff can go straight to the charters instead of it going to the Wasabi mailbox at the tribal building.
Okay, so if you can,
I know Nate usually picks them up, but this time I checked the mailbox and it was in there. And it was for school supplies, but it was like the bill was like from last fall.
Is that the 7Cs educational consultants?
No, that would be Dustin. This one is like, I think something for learning, but it has to do with like purchases of like supplies or something.
so can you leave that here at the school so we can look at it? If you've gotten it and any
Or else-
correspondence, if you can drop it off at the school so we know,
Yeah,
that could be helpful.
yeah, because I'm pretty sure it's been coming and I know that in the past, we've had bills that just got overlooked and not paid. So I'm guessing that this is just another bill that didn't get paid again on time. And it just keeps getting pushed to the back.
Yeah, if you can leave that with us, that'd be awesome. Then we can take a look
Also-
at what you're referring to, because I don't know what it is.
Do you guys also have like online accounts that you guys can view online versus waiting for them to come through the mail?
Nope, that would be, well, there might be some, but that's with our finance firm, so SMS. So
Okay.
Barry
That's-
probably does have a few set up that she does do online.
Alrighty. So it's a grant for pontoon.
So I have a question. What is, before we approve, can we table this so that you guys can send the plan? Any policies you need, any of that stuff for the pontoon? If we're gonna purchase and approve for a pontoon, what's the game plan? Where is it gonna be stored? Like policies, who's gonna drive it? What is the game plan behind that?
So procurement is a policy for purchase, big purchases, so that was approved in the policies.
Yeah, but who's gonna drive and operate and who's gonna dock it? Where is it gonna be stored? Like, where's the big picture and plan for this pontoon and grant?
So we got the grant, it was approved, and that's as far as we are right now, and we know what it's for and what it will be used for. So we're not
Okay.
quite at that point yet, but
Do you have a date when you got it confirmed?
no.
Okay, so then can we take, I don't know how you guys feel about tabling, but I feel comfortable at least getting a plan. Because we got all these stuff, even though they're donated, but they're just kind of sitting out here, all these buses. So I think I would prefer to see a plan of a pontoon. And where it's gonna be stored, where it's gonna be docked, who's gonna care for it? Whose responsibility is it?
So we already have this grant?
We were awarded the grant, yes.
So we applied, we written for it, we got it. But they can't implement it. But you don't have to approve it right away because there's no confirmed deadline date when we got.
I can't hear you, Naomi.
I was just letting him know that he asked about if this was awarded and he said, yeah, and I was just telling him that we don't have to approve it right away, that we can ask for a plan, a thorough plan for it before we approve it.
Accepting grant, but expect a plan for what it's going to be spent on before it's spent.
Did you hear him?
No, can't hear you guys when you're in conversation and discussion.
So I was saying we could approve we could approve, the acceptance of the grant, but hold off on spending it until we get a full plan on what it's gonna be spent on and all like safety measures and other things like that. you know, who's gonna drive it, all that other stuff, where it'll be stored in the winter time, where it'll be docked at, or if it will be docked. Who's gonna maintenance it? You know, cause, if you decide to take it to Lake Bemidji, we have to make sure we come over here and clean it off before we put it back in our lake. Or from any other lakes, even the small ones to the big lake.
Way out.
Yeah, you better find it out. Me with Jeff. All right. Oh, we'll put that in there. The motion to approve, or written motion, so vulnerable, that's the. Chelsea,
Yes.
Jeff?
Yeah.
Yeah, so, all right, motion time. Now we're on open discussion. Now we're on open discussion finally, and we are, first one we're gonna look at is the notice of deficiency. Yeah. And that one's pretty big. And there's a little exhibit Q. Hold up in.
Do you want exhibit Q up as well?
Um,
Just for those who are online.
I actually don't have those on. Haven't known, but.
I separately printed
Oh,
the
okay.
exhibits.
Okay.
Cause, yeah, I didn't know if they were together or not, so I separately printed it.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And exhibit R looks really ugly.
Oh, because.
Yeah, it was on Excel and that formatting from Excel to Word, it completely ruined its format, so it does not look like that.
So these three right there.
Okay. So we're looking at the notice of deficiency, and then we're looking at exhibit Q, and we're also looking at exhibit R.
Okay. All right.
Chelsea, were you able to go read the notice of deficiency?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, okay, okay.
We went past that one, like, you step two. We one step.
Well, it seems like the notice for level 1 is less like in your face than notice for level 2, at least from what I got from the exhibit Q. Yeah, level 1's just like an email kind of from what I got, like the verbal. And then number 2 is official, like all that.
Yeah, we gotta change the way things are being done. That's what this is.
Mhm. All of them, or are we doing one at a time?
We can do one at a time. If you guys already read them, if you guys have questions on certain parts, maybe go into the president addressing them with the interventions and it's fun with stuff. Because there is policies that definitely need to be in place.
So we can just like speak when we're in open discussion, right?
Yeah, for an open discussion.
So like when I was looking at this report, I mean, it just kind of like an example of this board meeting. Like, ideally, we should have our, like I looked at all these documents like 3 times over before I came to the meeting, arrived at the meeting on time, right? Like everybody should have already had developed questions, and we could generate solutions at these meetings instead of looking at them over while we're here, and like we can get some things ordered earlier in the board meeting, like who was supposed to notify SMS, right? And then, because then we could have had our questions answered with them regarding this meeting here. But since there was a meeting date change, they weren't here, and it's like we're still left in the abyss here, right? But it's like we need to be looking at these documents like a week prior, or really looking them over multiple times. So like you guys like looking at them right now, it's like we could be generating solutions right now, starting the meeting at 5:30.
And see, that's what this is more or less so that we all can view and discuss it, and that's why we were talking about a working session, because this is gonna be a lot of work, because you guys, new board members, hasn't even seen our first year strategic plan. So it's almost like you guys are stepping in like year 3 and trying to get an overview of, we're talking about the operations, the academic, so not more or less the governing side, because a lot of the stuff is in the operational side, and then it says in there, there's a lack of transparency and communication between the board and internal operations, and as we've been experiencing this last month, and like I said, like no board member has ever received any of the books, ever. So like, as you guys as a new board, I'm hoping that you guys are gonna actually get those books, because the initial board in the last 3 years has never received them.
And then when I
And the
decided,
data and the scheduling, like there's multiple things. I'm sure you guys experienced that as staff working in the school. I'm sure you've seen multiple gaps.
and then when I came in as treasurer to get those books and access to those books, I was met with hostility and the police. So,
And that's the first in the whole years of the operation. Like the board never experienced any of these kind of incidents of me being met with the police or whatever, because we've never really requested in depth of a lot of the finances until we started getting notices. Like we were really at this area, and like we've literally just finally seen a lot of these evaluations. So like it does say in evaluation, there is a lack of transparency from somewhere. Because a lot of these evaluations, like that could have been looked at last year instead of way at the end of the school year now. And a lot of it is, yeah, like this contract, like I said, like Dustin's contract, I didn't even get it till today. I didn't even see it in the email. This happens a lot. And I've even addressed that. And this is why we've had the third Tuesday of each month for finances, because we wanted SMS to have all their finance stuff sent in at least 5 to 6 days before our regular meeting, and they still do not send stuff right away. If they do send, it goes straight to the school leader, and they never send it to the treasurer or the board chair to include in the packets.
it is on the head of school to gather our what we want on our agenda and all the material that we're supposed to have. So all this that Leslie did for us today was actually on Sylvia. It is in her contract. It is in her contract, and she can't say she doesn't know this because she was doing it last year.
That just goes back to that last meeting I was here and I had to sit and print everything out last minute. And it's only because in the first 3 years, this is the first time that I've been experiencing this kind of difficulties of getting meetings going. And I feel like a lot of it is due to because we're addressing a lot of stuff. A lot of things is getting surfaced right now. And now we're having to look and really see in depth of things of what's really going on. And it's a lot of tough conversations, and I understand that, like, it's really tough for us too, because we've actually been and seeing and experiencing this thing from the beginning, from day one, from the day we went jumped in Sweat Lodge and we broke ground here. Like we see and we've experienced everything as the board, first year, second year, we're third year. Now we're like, oh man, you know, like our concern is what does year 4 and year 5 look like? Because we were supposed to game plan to get a pre-K in here, and in our contract, we mentioned the Wasabee program as a sister program. So we were trying to come up and build a system to include that program as well. And for some reason, I don't know what happened, but I feel like the mission and the vision and the focus of that in the beginning has been lost over time. And a lot of the finances that have been coming in, especially with our third party billing revenue stuff, I've been watching, I've been observing. You guys, mind you, my office is right next door. I see a lot of stuff. I see a lot of stuff that shouldn't be happening. I see people out here smoking cigarettes. You're not supposed to smoke on school campus. And then I had a staff outside smoking that thing that they were told in a staff meeting that it was okay to smoke inside their cars. And then I'll see staff go sit in their vehicles together. And then it's always in our reports and our site visit letters that says that there's understaffing. And then when you get your school leadership that are out, what happens to the staff? Do they show up on time? These are a lot of concerns that the board really, like if I wasn't next door, how many of the board of directors would report that to the board as a concern? 'Cause I haven't heard nothing. I haven't heard any staff say, hey, I have a concern of them smoking cigarettes outside. We're supposed to be teaching our kids that ASEMA is sacred, not sitting out there smoking right in front of them. So there is a lot of stuff that goes on, and there is a lot of concerns. Like we rent all that kitchen material, the kitchen equipment, and we don't even use it. Like, where's our game plan with bringing in like food sovereignty? And we're going into year 4, and that's why it's a concern, because where's our data? Like, we're not collecting that data and really bringing what we said we were going to do with this school. And one, we're supposed to be land-based learning, and we're constantly having our kids scheduled right inside this school.
I didn't see.
I think
nobody-
one for collecting
nobody went-
student
nobody went
data.
to- Sorry, go ahead.
I think one solution, I'd rather talk about solutions than complain about what is happening, right? We know what's wrong. We see it in the report. Let's figure out solutions and focus on growth instead of, we know what they are. What I think a huge one here in like this whole report is data, right? I like honestly, Dan does so much stuff, but I feel like we probably need to hire someone that has had experience in understanding how to get the data, right? So like even like a testing compliance person, like someone who's done it before, or
You mean like
is able to organize that across different areas. Because I was like, other 2 schools I was on the board at had a specific person, and that was like only their job was data.
The license superintendent and principal?
We need a lot of individuals that have that license and experience in school. Like, I think that's one of the things that we, as a solution, like, yeah, we're getting them licensed, right? That's a solution. But where's the solution in discussing at actually getting them trained into being that background education? Observing, individualizing lesson plans, and like Bagwaj, like we've been paying him all along. Like I love Bagwaj, and I've seen the work that he's done, but that's a lot of stuff that can have been pulled and created and pulled in as data too, or even recording the student's progress in the language.
Yeah, I saw that disconnect a while, like what at my first or second board meeting, I was like, this person here, I don't even never even met him.
Wow. And that's where I'm at too, because that's where I see like the data, like if we have a curriculum developer, they could have been on site with the teachers that were getting those licenses of being compliant, but also like in-person training and guiding and building those lesson plans. Like, all right, this week we're gonna build out whatever.
But that would be a position data. Right? That's what they, with the Island, the Lake High School.
Yep, so I agree if I can add a few things with Chelsea on being really solution-based and using our time. We're going on 8 o'clock now. And we do this, deficiency letter is huge in helping us and guide us on how to continue to be successful and really demonstrate our growth. So I think it's not anything bad, like Rochelle said, and Rochelle said it, she really articulated a lot of things in how we're improving, the different things we've noticed, the different concerns that have come up, and how we'll be addressing them or how we've already addressed them. So it's really a nice plan for us to continue providing the services we said we were going to do in our contract and work towards those goals. And it just helps us, again, which the authorizers, one of their responsibility is to help us become successful and really support us in our initiatives and meeting our goals and being that support system. And so this is one of the ways they're demonstrating their support for the school. And I think, like Rochelle said, we're grassroots, we're new. We've talked with a lot of neighboring charter schools, around, and, the first 5 years are the hardest. And we're experiencing that. We've had many growing pains. And it's probably not going to stop for a while. It's just a hard initiative. But we have a lot of great people, a lot of great staff. You all board members just devoting your time and energy for the community and the students. And being solution-based is going to get us where we need to go for the community and the students. So I want to just add and thank you guys for your time and to really use this time as solution-based and not really, we know what we're doing wrong, what we did wrong. We made corrections. We know what we need to do going forward. And rather than pointing the fingers or really, tearing each other down, I hope we can empower and support each other for the students and the school success. And I just want to add that. So miigwech.
I hear it, but I feel like that's been our motto, like every single year we've heard that from you.
You're a little late for talking about tearing down too.
Year 4, and a lot of this is on like the way I'm reading it, like here, a lot of it's the operational performance. It says the school is receiving a notice of deficiency in order to make clear that its current academic, finance, and operational performance is putting its charter contract in jeopardy of revocation or non-renewal. So if we come up with a solution, what do you guys think of as a solution for that? There's like more in depth of the too, where it talks about failure to meet it. I know in the past, like before the other board members were on, me and Jeff would hear stuff about the well-being, like they were gonna take the data for the well-being of the students, like how come that wasn't presented to us and, as a board and said, look at this is where our kids are being evaluated for their well-being year 1, year 2, like if the state and MDE isn't even receiving or the board isn't receiving it, it's on the board to start questioning that. It's not on the MDE or OSPRE. Yeah, they have a play in it, but for us to actually take action on these things, like that's where I'm at as well. Like there is so much that's not like. That's where I'm at. I'm like the solution. One, we need a license. This is where I feel like we need a lot of licensed staff. Like I know that Rochelle's been, getting everybody in compliance. I wouldn't say licensed, but maybe more in-depth training of things that will align with our mission and vision, but also making sure that we're collecting our data, make sure our teachers know how to collect that data for the kids, like whether it's samples or, you know, however. I'm gonna say the new board because I'm gonna guess that the new board's gonna be working on working sessions throughout the summer before the next school year starts, because it also even talks about in here on page 4 of the deficiency letter, nope, page 5, where it says required actions. The third bullet, it says the board must adopt and submit an updated nepotism policy. So that's also even reflected in our vendors. Because there is, if you guys are hiring your family members to work as vendors in the school. And at some point, like, you guys shouldn't be negotiating contracts for your own family members inside the school.
Not at all.
There's a nepotism policy that is followed, and we have many family members among staff, and then also board members that are family. So, I mean,
I wouldn't even bring up the board member thing that we're family, because I'm related to your husband. And I'm probably related to Chelsea too distantly. I can throw
exactly
a
where there's a lot of, yep, there's a lot of family
Yeah.
members
But I
related.
could throw a rock and hit 5, and it bounce off of 5 people, and they're all probably my relatives. So let's not go there when you have all your stepchildren working for the school. Me and Naomi are not close enough to be considered anything by Osprey Wild as our relatives, just that we're distant relatives. So let's not even go there or try to chime that in. Because like I said, I'm probably just as close as relative with Nate as I am Naomi. Whether y'all realize it or not. Just because my last name's Magoo doesn't mean my family names aren't deep here. That one just happens to come from Leech Lake and White Earth.
So I'm not gonna go back and forth, but thank you.
But yeah, thank you. Yeah, I was just pointing that out because it's on the letter and it's in there, and I just noticed that too, because I know I've had other individuals make that comment to me about you guys employing your own children. And those could have been given to community members or even posted as for jobs.
And your mother-in-law. Move right into the distant documents.
Yeah, there is a lot. I don't know if you guys want to table this and go over it another time, but this.
There is a timeline in the last 2 pages. I don't know if anybody noticed that, but there's just all the actions are summarized right there, which is
Yeah.
beautiful.
Easy to
I just
grab.
a side note, just beautiful. I like it, appreciate that it's all in the back. Because I was highlighting them throughout the whole thing.
Thank you for pointing that out.
I see experienced and licensed individuals in those leadership positions and more admin positions as in, like I said, a data clerk that doesn't have 5 other jobs. Yeah. Because Dan, we do have a data clerk. We each got 10 other jobs. In charge of the garage, in charge of this, in charge of that, and we need to fill those positions that he fills. And in truth, I don't understand why some of our extra money, instead of having 3, 4 janitors running around, should be spent on that. When we get our donation from a third party.
So Sylvia, is there any money available to hire like a data clerk?
Yep, so we have a meeting. No, I don't know. That was it. I just said yep. We're having a meeting next week with our finance firm to determine what the June budget, what we're gonna present to the board in June on what our budget will look like for 25-26 school year. So again, we're gonna have that meeting this coming week, and I don't know.
I mean, because that could be like a solution for one of these things on here, you know?
Yep, we have we've been talking a lot, having meetings, closing out, like I said, this year, doing planning for next year. And we have been talking about teacher mentorship, curriculum developer or instructional coaching, providing some more support for our teachers, and then data-driven work, mission-driven aligned work. So yeah, we've been planning for 25-26 in a couple positions we would like to propose, but again, we have to see where our budget is, the projection, we have to see if it's, we have it. If we have finances coming in, so I'll know more after our meeting. But yeah,
Cool.
that is on. We have several things in the planning stage for 25-26 happening now.
Yeah, like it would be like a good one. So the data compliance person and our own like in-house accountant. Like I know we hire outside for that, but it would be nice to have someone in the building who's organizing everything, and then the like a procurement process that goes through them, and then you're looking at it and signing off on it, and there's two signatures in the building of someone that's organizing all of these grants. It's all organized with them. The spend downs, how it's coded is could be organized better, but an in-house accountant.
I was kind of thinking like the same thing, more, the position would be called a business manager. This would be like the person they would go through once we write our policies on travel, reimbursement and stuff to get it approved before it comes to the board. Like, yeah, like I said,
Yeah.
travel on like hotels and whatnot.
Yeah. I was
But
like, that
it-
would all go through them, because then there would be the forms filled out of, this is where we're going, this is the
Authorizations and
professional development thing we're doing. This is all the money that was spent there, but it's all itemized, right? And that's how my old job was. Like it was a process to get stuff approved, where you had to put in a sheet, and it would be a few weeks before it would get approved, and then you got the approval, and everything that you told them was budgeted out. It's put it into a specific account that was designed just for that, and everything's like all the T's and I's were crossed, and it was just nice and organized, and it felt safe.
Yeah, I'll put that down. We're meeting with Amy and Mary and Todd. But yeah, we have great need for a lot of positions and just, really building our capacity in different areas. So, it all falls back on the budget and what we have available. I'll definitely write that down too.
If we want to create these positions, it's up to them to find it in the budget to do these positions. So if we want these positions in, all we gotta do is say, if we want these positions, then they gotta find it in that budget. Because we should have almost as much admin as we do staff, helping with the kids. Like any school you've ever been to, that's exactly how it is. It's almost as much admin as there are teachers. And for us to have like 4 or 5 people in admin is ridiculous, or if they're probably even less than that. But this is a big place where this is a big area where help a lot of this is having positions and admin. And then the administration section. That's what I got out of reading. There's a lot of admin jobs that need to be added.
Yeah, I just feel concerned for like, when it comes to new positions, like the attendance of staff, because personally, what I've seen this year, staffing was pretty rough. People would just call in or, and I'm just worried that if we make all these positions, that people will continue to not show up.
You gotta make the ones that aren't showing up accountable. You gotta write them up. And instead of treating, oh, it's okay, I got your back. It's one thing to cover our people and have their back. It's another thing to call them like they're kids. They're grown people. And you've been doing it long enough yourself. How old are you? Some of them are quite a bit older than you, right?
Oh, yeah, most of the staff are older than me.
But you get my drift, they should be old enough to be able to do the same things. And it shouldn't, if you're not gonna be here, you don't just call them. You let them know, or you get bring in your doctor, to this and that. There's some people that made it throughout the year that probably should have been fired on their attendance. And I know that for a fact because I've sat around and I've watched too, comes and goes. And to see somebody go sit out in their truck for a half an hour and smoke 3 or 4 cigarettes when You're only supposed to have 15-minute breaks. I know OSHA law too.
What is a break?
But yeah, I feel you.
I
There
think
is no
that's
such
a-
thing as breaks.
I think that's a legit concern of, oh no, where's the concern? But I was thinking too, because you guys do know that we are in, like, what are they, the word I'm thinking, we are to be. So we try to keep our rates up with the school district, so I was thinking that might have been something as a concern, too, because like now we gotta make sure our money's piled up there so that we're paying a competitive pay scale. So then,
Yeah, to where like some of the teachers that come in that aren't technically licensed, but by the tribe, they shouldn't be getting the same pay scale as a licensed teacher that comes in and went to school for it starting. The only time they should maybe get a little extra is to say if they got more of the language. You know, and I understand that. But we did, you know, it's like we did receive we did do a pay scale this year. And in our admin office, somebody makes $13,000 more than our executive director, which sounds ridiculous in my eyes. Like nobody should get paid higher than him in the school. And then last year, the same somebody made $19,000 or $18,000 more than the executive director. So, you know, when you look into things like that, it's like, how does anybody get paid more than that guy? He's the boss. So, you know, it's wonky on the way things are and things need to be straightened out. And I think that really a lot of it is having the people that are licensed to actually run the inside of the school. Like this, the beginning of this year and last year, we had principal offer, or licensed principal from over there offer 2 years in a row. The female from that's there this year and the male that was there the year before. In which I don't understand why he did people. Yes, we need you. We wouldn't actually be in the positions right now that we are in. They would have known what to do, we've seen these letters and different things worked out, just like we talked about. So now here we are.
I think even, so part of what we do when we get these evaluations are the performance evaluations and stuff like that, we are supposed to, and even when we evaluate school leadership, we're supposed to make a performance plan. So nothing has ever been done on the school leadership. There's that one evaluation that was done, this one here.
That one, but
Here.
Rochelle was actually supposed to create
Performance plan.
with
Yeah.
Sylvia.
Oh, okay.
When I remember talking about creating a performance plan, something about it. When she was on the board, but she was chair and said it was her job to do. And if it hasn't been done, nothing's on Michelle and she was before. No, I don't know for it.
I guess in the same instance, like what I'm thinking is, like where's everything been? You know, like you just got these and who's had possession of them for a year and never brought them to the meeting and what. I think that's where, because it is a lot of paperwork, you know, we're all like, oh, no, like, you know, trying to navigate through everything and read a lot of stuff and it's like, that's a lot. And we do have to address it.
That's gonna be the big change that changes everything. So as far as I can see it, you know. This is my city. And Nathan Sylvia's. For over 10 years. You know, me, Naomi are in hard work in year 5. So there's never been no question about wanting the longevity. You know, and truth. The past few months I've been under attack. Well, actually, I've been under attack since December. Since a month after my son died by those two. Trying to get me off of this board. Now, they're supposed to be traditional, and we're supposed to be traditional. Where's my year of mourning?
I mean, I've never come at them. I've never said I wanted to fire them. I've never done nothing like that. All I did was coming to this board or come into this school and try to gain access to our books. Next thing I know, I got the whole police force because Mike Needham says some guy showed up. I won't leave. He knows why. I told him I was here as the treasurer. I don't know how if any of y'all think how ridiculous that sounds, but that is ridiculous. And then the next thing I know, I get a restraining order put in the name of the school, which he cannot legally do. It's only between me and him now. It goes both ways. He can't come around me. I can't go around him. No. The only way I see the school not closing in the next 2 years is by just changing their leadership and adding that. Begin with, until I was personally attacked throughout all this, I wasn't looking to get here. I wanted to find other places for them and here where they shine. But after all this, my son missed his graduation because of that restraining order. My son and daughter missed all their last 2 weeks of school because of that restraining order and all the fun of it. How is that fair as a parent? In that last meeting, she asked me to come out to the side and attack me and made it personal. The whole time they've been saying it's personal. They have never been personal with me. I've never once said it was personal. She pulled me out after that meeting. Go, no, you need to talk to me now. It's just this between us and da 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 da. And yet she's the head of the school yelling at a parent. Not once did I ever get an apologize from her husband while screaming at me that he wasn't my boss while I'm trying to file a verbal a formal complaint. You know, this it's ridiculous. As a parent, I've been treated like dirt and kicked. On the traditional end, they just stomped all over them and you know, they didn't show up. When they showed up to my son's funeral, they didn't come to help. They didn't come show up with their pipes. Instead, the very next month, they're attacking me and coming at me. That's not the behavior of what I was taught by Anna Gibbs or Zach Early. And then y'all talk about wanting to make Zach Early a para when he's got twice as much knowledge as Darwin. I don't know. From what I can see, our school needs new leadership on the inside. All these things I've told you today is why I didn't run it. Because I was already tired of being attacked. I don't leave my house without my protection on. They come over here and have outsiders come do ceremonies, weird ceremonies, stuff that has nothing to do with us. Don't invite the community, doesn't invite nobody. They just do whatever it is they think they want to do and do. Christ, that one night they're having a shake tent that we were paying for, and we don't see it on our finances. There's a lot of things that we don't see and end up we're left out at board members. And it's really, really concerning to me. Because like I said, I will never say this isn't their seed as well as mine, but I planted this seed in their head. That soups with the soups. And this is just as much my baby as it is theirs. And I would have loved, right now, I would love to still see them. In fact, that business manager I was talking about, who do you think I wanted it to? But after all these attacks and then going, it's personal. Okay, it's personal for you. And I've told every one of them, this is business. It's about the children for me since day one. If Pat was around, he could say so too, because Aaron was one of those people. They're always the one. Well, what did Jeff got to say? It's always about the people. It's always about the kids. It's always about the people. I've never taken 1 cent for doing any of this. Last year, I volunteered for 3 months as the as the PE teacher and was starting up jujitsu with them. I was the one teaching them jujitsu in the beginning. All their basic movements. Spent a lot of time in school the first year also. And like Dustin, we're lucky to have that guy. But we need to get that contract done because my child went an entire year without having her IEP done because they don't have the data from year 1, year 2, or year 3 for her. They only got the only reason they were able to do it towards the end of the year because they spent all year gathering the data on it that they needed. I didn't report to school. I could have because I asked for it last year. And so this is what I dealt with. This is what I've dealt with as a parent. Last year it was okay for me to advocate for the parents that brought problems to me, but when I had problems of my own and brought those problems up, suddenly it wasn't okay. Like the issue with Sasha talking about my son online. My children only have access to her here. She's the equine therapist. That's breach of confidentiality. That's a lawsuit. I haven't done that either. You know, I've put a lot into the school. Why would I do things to destroy it? And I'm tired of people acting like as if I am. And it's sad that, you know, it's like the moment as we've seen, it's really sad and really suspicious that the board wants the books and suddenly this happens. Police are called, this and that, restraining orders. All from a man who hasn't even been to our meetings in 3 months because he can't do confrontation. He doesn't want to be in charge here. He's said it every year. She's the reason Dean wants to be in charge. He forces it. She's the one that makes $13,000 more than he does every year. And 18 last year. She tries to tell us in court that tell us in court that she doesn't have access to the books and all that. But here in this meeting, she just got done saying she did. They also admitted that they do whatever Rochelle tells them they need to get to do. That means Rochelle's leading the school, not them. And that's why our school is actually doing good because of the work Rochelle's done.
I appreciate you speaking up on the part as a parent because since like as you can see on our agendas, we always have APAC on there. We've got maybe Dan saying one time about something about APAC, but we've never ever had APAC at our meetings. We've never really even heard any parents' concern outside of like death, or unless they like. I recently got contacted in the last week or two regarding some parents and grandparents' concerns about the school because they've been addressing it internally to the school leadership, but nothing's being done. So then they feel like they have to go to the board, make sure that the board's discussing that these operational things are occurring because yeah, it is concerning and it relates back to some of like the spiritual and ceremonial stuff that's being done because I do have a concern. You know, I see the behaviors of the kids, like I see things that go on. And this place, even next to like the history of Red Lake and like the burials of the kids even here, like how do we know like this stuff wasn't built around a lot of these kids that were buried in that field? And the board never had a discussion, and we never decided that this was gonna be our location of the school, like we were left out of that discussion. We were just told to break ground here, and if it was if I was in that discussion, I would have asked council to put us somewhere deeper in the woods, so we had more classrooms out for land-based learning, versus we don't have much land besides the little field around the school.
FCS stop over there.
Oh, the trailhead?
Yeah, over right across from Fox Lake there. That's what I kept trying to tell him.
I was requesting like the seeded land, how like we have needed spots for berry camps and deer hunting camps and fishing camps, like how our grandmas and grandpas used to do it.
School with them.
Oh, yeah.
Like I was talking
That's
about,
central location.
89, they're
Oh.
like Bob Smith's house, right? Like they're down past where they have the Fox Lake and the FCX, but all those dealing were being done, and what's going to be put where that year.
Yeah.
It was very big, important to snatch up the land now. That year. So that was like probably the argument between the what and what the tribe, and no, we're going to take that.
You guys have any like further like in-depth questions of like of the notice that we could work on for like solutions?
The only thought of solution that I can think of is, you know, we do need a little bit, it sounds like we do need a little bit more help than admin. Like Chelsea was saying, to get someone to like have all of that stuff, you know, on the computer in the little databases and stuff, and the checks and balances here would be good.
Yeah, and so this summer, like Rochelle had said earlier, of like a scope and sequence, getting all the teachers on the same board or same organizational track in their year, that they are also measuring growth and providing those summative assessments in the classroom. Like every teacher should be doing that. All right, but some of them like don't realize how those assessments for their students affect grants and how we maintain as a school. But I was like, it's the data. You have to know how to track that in your rooms. But that's in the works to get professional development for all the teachers too.
Right. My concern was like, let's say if there was no data, and let's say your kids started year one, right? They didn't get data for them. Let's say they're in first grade, they start here. Year one, no data, come back second year, no data. Third year, they're like, dang, what's my kid really learning? There's no data, right? And then they decide to put them in the Red Lake School District after, you know, going on their fourth year. And when those transcripts get sent over, there's no data. So where does that leave those kids in a different school district, right? And these are the reality of our parents right now. Especially those ones that didn't get their IEPs over here to get their kids' needs met. And then they have to transfer to another school district and the data, and they're like, then they got to start all over again. So that leaves a lot of our kids left behind. That would be my concern. If I was a parent, I'd be like, hold on, wait a minute. Like my kid should be in this grade, but wait, you guys, you know what I mean? Like there's no data for 3 years for a lot of these kids. And that's really sad. Like that is like us.
Yeah,
failing those kids and their
tests
families,
one
really.
that are done every year.
So I have a child that left the school. He was, should have been in like sixth, seventh grade. So when they took him over, when we took him over to the Red Lake School, they had to do massive testing to in order to even place him, because they got no school records for him from here. Like, I don't even know why I keep my other 2 children. Hopes, dreams, I guess.
So
But,
there is data, MCA data, as we do NWEA. This year we're implementing FastBridge, new MDE approved. So there is data. The data that is reflected in the progress report is showing does not meet, which we're working on with our students and providing that support system. The data that is missing is our goals within Osprey Wilds, which is our wellness and our mission-driven work. There was another one. So that's the data we're working on collecting. We did, and the board does know, we did implement, we attempted to implement our medicine wheel teaching as a measurement for our wellness. We only had 1 or 2 teachers do it, not this past year, the year before. So we couldn't collect as much data as we intended. So we have been working with our authorizer to change what the wellness measurables will be. And that's coming out this year for this past year. So we've been working on a lot of our data. We are collecting it. There is data on our students. We are mandated by state to do MCAs, to do our mapping. So we have done NWEA this past year and the year before in the spring. So we do have data. So I just want to put that out there for board members. There's some data we don't have within our authorizer contract in which we're working on. And that's the wellness, and I'm trying to remember what the other one was, Pat. Wellness and one more.
Yeah, I would have to, wasn't the academic report in the packet?
The academic reports in the packet. I feel
Yep.
like there was one more other goal besides wellness. Oh, Ojibwe, duh. The Ojibwe, yeah. So we attempted to use ACTFL, but ACTFL is really extensive and it's linguistic based and it's more adult learning measurements. And so we have Ojibwe throughout all 3 years, but we're working on what works best and measurable for our students. So we tried a few different things and we just couldn't capture to report that data the first year and then the second year. So this past year, we have the data we're collecting. So there is data. I just want the board members to know we do have data. And we're working on improving that collection process and making it available.
So I have a question, Sylvia, about the wellness data that you collect. How you said that the teachers weren't doing it. Is it because they didn't like it or like?
No, we just didn't have the support system set up for teachers to implement a universal. So from K through 5 and then the second year K through 6. So we partner with Nissen and they provide a lot of our instructional coaching, but then we do a contract with Jen to do instructional coaching, but we didn't have a universal. We didn't provide that support to teachers as leadership. And so we are working on providing more leadership, establishing a universal wellness a grassroots curriculum that we're going to do in-house that's mission and vision aligned so that we can measure it and all teachers will receive that professional development, how to track it, how to implement it, and we'll have that data. So it wasn't that teachers didn't want to do it. It was more we weren't able to provide the support teachers needed. And that falls on admin and school leadership. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So I do not have academic performance eval 23. You guys,
I just made a note that it didn't.
okay,
It
okay.
was an email.
I wasn't sure if it was just
It didn't get printed. Discuss that. So, since we're this knee deep in deficiency is a notice,
Is it this one?
I think that was 24. Did it say 24?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got one. We didn't get to print the 23 one, so I was just wondering if it was just
Okay.
me missing it or if it was everyone.
pretty much would be the same one, but like up here, it says like fiscal 23, 20, there's nothing for 23.
Okay,
So there is some numbers for 24 and then 25 obviously is denominator, but. Okay. So I was just kind of going back when I was saying that because what I was getting from my conversation with Emily was that nothing was submitted of what they were requesting for the last 3 years. So if stuff did get submitted and it was in there, cool, appreciate it.
I think that would be our ARI reporting. Before that, there was a different database they used. They switched to ARI, and we are behind on that. So a lot of that reflection is in that reporting, the discrepancy letter. But it's all the staff we had, regardless of the situation or the circumstance, it wasn't uploaded into ARI, which is our reports to Osprey Wilds. And so we are behind on that. We do, like Rochelle said, we are collecting we've got most of it. We just have to get it in there and upload it. And then work on a better timeline of getting that and making sure they're on time and reported. And that's in the plan with Osprey Wilds outlined that the one Leslie pointed out earlier. So it's got a nice map and timeline for us, reporting dates, responsibilities to help us get not only caught up, but continue to be on time and with reporting and responsibilities.
So here's what I'm thinking, dude, should we go one by one or should we just end or just have a big open discussion on the bullet point up to the site visit letter? Or do you guys want to feel like tabling this to a special meeting? In a couple more days? The rest of that, the circle. Are you guys available this Friday? Zoom? Yes. Not power weekend this weekend? No. It's always at some
Yeah.
point.
Well, no, the white earth one. The white earth one is the only one I actually go to.
Couple weeks.
Okay, yeah, because I know it's the Father's Day.
Yeah. Then there's. Okay, so you guys want to try this Friday to finish the rest of the stuff on the open discussion? I'm good for that. Kelsey?
Friday, what time?
Yeah. What time's a good time for you guys? You guys have kids here? I'm
Uh,
flexible,
do I,
so, all you guys.
No kids Friday.
yeah, I'll be at work on Friday,
Fridays?
and I could do Friday sometime. Yeah.
Okay. I'll be available Friday after work. After work, you know, want to in person, Zoom? Yeah, yeah, you send me an ad for this.
No, in person's fine, I like.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay,
yeah.
all right, so we're gonna finish the rest of the stuff at a later meeting Friday, so can I get a motion to adjourn the meeting at 8:30? Sorry, everybody, I know it's a lot of stuff we're going over. I'll second. Any discussion?
We gonna put this on this special meeting.
Oh, yeah, yeah. And some of the stuff we tabled, we can actually put it, yeah, that one has to get approved, the contract. And all the
Can we get all the questions answered from SMS too?
Yeah, I'll make sure to send them that invite to that meeting to make sure
Yeah.
that. It's correct.
So remember, on any future meetings, we got to read through all the documents right when we get the email, so we have solutions or questions that can be answered, and the meeting can run much more smoothly.
Yeah, thank you. So what time are we shooting for Friday? What's time is it? 5 o'clock, 5 o'clock? I'm gonna say 5 to 7, just to be safe. Yeah.
Okay, can you mark that? My same address will be public again,
Okay,
so I can go lock my door right now. Just kidding.
okay.
You can't. If 40 people showed up, you'd have to let them in and be a part of the meeting.
I think I got enough snacks for them. They'd be okay. I have a TV right here. It'd have been fine. I was ready, and 2 chairs, but no one came. I could get a new like neon lit open sign for my house.
You have 2 chairs available for someone? Is that what you said?
Yeah, yeah, dude, right there. Okay, can we vote?
Yeah.
Naomi?
I'm going to vote Bellinger. Yep. Jordan,
Yes.
Abu. Wow, Aunt Benno, yes, all right, motion passed. Let me wait to everybody for conversation, input, questions, concerns, comments. Are we gonna go
Appreciate it all.
over exhibit R in specifics?
Thank you, guys.
We can bring that.
We voted.
Yeah, because I just realized that with the big pack, I was looking at it and I was like, we should definitely go look at this at least. Well, that's a lot. I didn't realize until it's actually printed of how much stuff.
Michelle, do they need these here?
Missing that I.
Need these here?
Yeah, if you just go ahead and leave those there, I'll take care of them. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, bye guys. Thank you.
All my questions written on the second one.